chair, shoes, tires, bed. Don't be cheap. You won't even realize how badly, negatively you're affecting your life if you're cheap with those types of things, because it's a gradual deterioration of your life quality. It's really slow. It's slow enough for you to not notice it happening until you, like, are in pain or can't sleep or feet hurt. You know, these things will happen so slow you won't know, but it'll happen. You could be cheap with other stuff too. I mean, instead. One thing to be cheap with is your car. If you want to be cheap, you know, you could be cheap with a car. If you do the right kind of research, I mean, you could get a really great car for really, really cheap and drive that shit for fucking ever. If you do the right kind of research and, you know, shop right, you could get great deals. Well, I mean, I used to buy and sell cars for a living. Used cars, used police cars. So, some of the deals that I got, man, they were insane, dude. When you think back at them, it's like, what? Dude, that's crazy. Back in like 2004, right? 2003, 2004, I could buy like a 1998, 99, so only a few years old, Crown Victoria with low miles for $1,000 bucks. $1,000. You could drive that car forever. You would still be driving it now in 2020. Low miles. You'd still be driving it. That's why they turned them into taxi cabs, because you can drive them till they have 400,000 miles on them if you maintain. So, I mean, think about that investment. $1,000 back in 04 for a 98, the car would still run 20 years later. That's a good investment. And cars aren't supposed to be a good investment. And even for me, I bought it for $1,000 bucks and sold it for $5,000 bucks. You know, all I did was wash that shit. I took that shit from the auction. I drove it to the car wash. I gave them $5 bucks, and then I put an ad on Craigslist. $5,000 bucks. And they would come and buy that shit. Because it was worth it. It was worth it. It was. They would buy that shit with a smile on, dude. I'm selling you a car that's a couple years old with like 30,000 miles on it. The tires are fucking brand new. If you wanted to replace these tires right now, it's going to cost you more than the price of the car. These brand new Eagle GTs, police tires. You go right now, pull out your cell phone right now and tell me how much it costs for 4 of these puppies right here. $1,200? Here's 4 of them and they come with the car. Think about it, man. You could be cheap with cars, is my point. But I don't think you should be cheap with like shoes and beds and stuff like that. Sell me a car? Nah. What car would you recommend now? What do you mean? I don't know. All types of cars are cool, man. It really depends on what you're trying to do. I mean, if you need a truck, you get a truck. If you want economy, you get an economy car. It really depends on what you're trying to do, man. What you need, your need. For me, like, I always thought a really good first car for someone who's learning how to drive. A lot of the people who bought my cars were buying a car for their son. Like, my son just learned how to drive. I want to put him in something fun but safe. A Crown Victoria Police Interceptor. Dude, that shit's got a high output 4.6 liter, you know, and it sounds good if you put exhaust on it. And it's a giant, dude. I mean, that shit is like a Sherman tank. And it's got airbags all over it, you know? So it depends on what you're doing. If we're talking about like a college student, first car type of a thing, you know, top car's good. Learning how to drive, shit's gonna keep you safe if you fuck up. The Ford Crown Victoria uses the same engine. Doesn't it use the same engine as the Mustang? Or maybe not. Mustang's a 5.0, that's a 4.6. But back then, maybe the Mustang used a 4.6. Maybe, I don't know.
What car would you recommend for my wife's boyfriend? Smile.
Hey, thanks very much. Toast or whatever. Elon Musk, dude. Man, that Cybertruck looks cool. I don't care. I think it looks cool. But I don't think it's gonna look like that as a final product. Maybe it will. I hope it does.
I'm still waiting.
I think it looks cool. And I'm not a big Tesla fan. I think all the other Teslas look like Hondas. They don't look cool. But the Cybertruck looks awesome. It's like the first electric car I've ever liked. For realsies. I've never liked an electric car before. I'm a big combustion fan. I drive a Hammy. But Cybertruck, that shit looks tight. I think for a car to be electric, it better fucking look electric. You know? I'm tired of these cars trying to look like cars. And then being electric. Shit ain't a car. I want that shit to look electric, man. That shit better be from the future.
Need more time.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks.